What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Two-Man Show. This is episode 3, where we're finally gonna finish the rocker. You saw a lot of this last week, so I'm just not even gonna put you guys through that punishment again. Let's get right into the action. So, first things first, what we needed to do is to get access to a little bit more of the fender area. So that meant cutting a little bit more of the fender up and out of the way. Quite a sight to see. The next thing we needed to do was to continue to trim the rest of the remaining edge that we want to weld to. And so I let Kevin take care of this. He's got a very steady hand. He cut a very nice straight line, and you're kind of seeing the remnants of all of that work. So with that said, all of that is just preparation because we want to get this bad boy on. This is the outer panel. Now, I've already cut and trimmed this, so why don't you guys take a look at that? Let me bring that in right now too. What you're seeing is that I had to take a good edge and really just shave away a good portion to have nice clean metal to weld to. Here, you see this all? You can see the nice shiny edge that goes along the top. Fairly straight. I did a pretty good job. Not the worst thing I've ever done. What you're gonna see is gonna come down here. Obviously, once we start welding, there's gonna be a little bit more fine tuning, and as we weld along, we'll be moving from the outside in, ideally, I think. Probably. Who knows? Let's find out.
A lot better?
I agree. All right, people who are still here, I'm back. It's been a little bit of time since what you just saw. I'm finally back on it though, and the good news is outer panel is on, so hooray. However, it's only just tacked, and there's a lot of cleanup to do, so that's what I'm about to do. What's happening here is there's a little bit of overlay that I'm just trimming off to get it a nice flush surface to weld that top part onto. A lot of cutting, grinding, and then just tack and repeat it over and over and over until it's all done. This took some time, but it was well worth it because it was a nice tight fit. So what you just happened to witness was me welding, not all of these, but a few more. This one all the way out here Kevin had done. And then as you can see here, this is my welding and trimming work. Not my best, but definitely far from my worst. See here, the cutting got kind of close. Didn't really file it so great, and then you got an ugly weld right there. But this thing's on there, and that's what you want. And what you'll see here on this last piece, if we'll zoom this in a little, kind of what I'm dealing with. So first one out here, that one wasn't the greatest weld. This one looks pretty good. Seems to be on there pretty well. This one melted it pretty nice. And this gives you an idea of just how little that overlap is. It's, 2 or 3 millimeters maybe. and it gets even tighter as it comes out this other way. So we're getting there. And now you gotta grind all those welds down. You gotta have a nice smooth surface because that's metal to metal, baby. And what comes next? That's right, the finish line is in sight. And the first thing on that list is getting that front fender piece put on. Here, Kevin's steady hands meant it was mounted up and ready to go, which obviously means welding is coming next. Here we are welding it on, and by we, obviously I mean Kevin, and I'm just staying out of the way. Kevin's steady hand was getting this thing welded on, and obviously the next thing to do, you gotta get the bottom side welded as well. So I got a nice little picture of him doing it there. And now back to the grind. We gotta grind all those welds down on the fender as well, but we're just about done. And with that done, you can see that the fender looks good. We're panning across. The welds are grinded down on the outer rocker panel. The only thing left for this, just some paint. Well, folks, I'm happy to report it's done. And by done, I mean welding is done. That's all on, that's all on, that's all on. We're talking inner rocker panel fully fixed. Middle rocker fully welded on, outer rocker fully welded on, lower fender fully welded on. Most of the welds have started to be ground down already. Not quite ready for paint yet, but that's the next step. That has nothing to do with the rocker repair. Rocker repair is done. It's a good feeling. It's been way too long. It's basically the end of 2022, and this was essentially between that part and all of this was a full year's job. But luckily, you know, I was able to drive the car still with the rear exposed and done. I was still able to drive the car with the middle rocker repaired, but once we got to the outer rocker part and I had to pull the doors off, obviously the car hasn't been driven in 2 months. So even this video, just to get these final pieces done, I wanted to wait until we had the front fender welded on and ready to go, because it looks like a normal car now, right? Minus the doors. But the good news is, once this is done, I can start focusing on this stuff. Aren't you glad you waited till the end? Stay tuned for more.